Welcome to the Happy Bones, Happy Life podcast. I'm Margie Bissinger, a physical therapist and integrative health coach, and I am your host and guide on our journey to discover the keys to stronger bones, more happiness, and the secrets to live your best life ever. From nutrition to stress, from exercise to happiness, you will gain revolutionary insights from our leading experts. It is time for you to discover the health and happiness you deserve. Hey, Margie here. Wouldn't it be nice if we were able to connect to our spirit guides and receive messages and guidance in our lives? Well, guess what? We are able to do that. And our special guest today is going to help us, Kourtney Levens. And Kourtney has the gift of being able to speak directly to guardian angels, spirit guides, and loved ones on the other side. And she uses her abilities to receive messages and guidance that helps people find their necessary direction in life. And in today's interview, we really talk about how can we connect to our angels, what can we ask them, so that we receive all this guidance that is available to us. And Kourtney's also going to shed light on some messages that she received to help us cope with this coronavirus outbreak. So stay tuned. Welcome, Kourtney. I am beyond excited to have you here. It was really interesting because I think it was the last time that I had a reading with you. You had mentioned that you would be interested in being on the podcast when I asked you. And now is the absolutely perfect time. So many of us with this coronavirus are really living in fear. There's so much uncertainty. And I know for me, it's been incredibly helpful to get any guidance I can from spiritual guides. And I really believe that you can help all of us with your skills and with your gift, really. So I'm just beyond thrilled to have you, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, thank you for having me, Margie. I just adore you, and so anything I can do to help. I know that your tribe, your audience is so advanced when it comes to medical information. So I hope I don't embarrass myself by sounding too stupid. But thank you for having me and allowing me on here. I hope that I can bring something to the table, help a few people out.
Oh, I'm sure you can. And I think that's the interesting part. I know from my life, being a medical person and being very much in science, as I've gotten more into spirituality and more into getting help from the universe and from my spirit guides, my life has just gotten so much better. And I really, way back, never started talking to my patients about this as a physical therapist. And then once I started, people were so interested, and I just saw miracles occurring. So it's really what I love, and I found it's just helped me live a much better life. And just, it's unbelievable when you realize what's out there that we can utilize to just really enrich our lives so much. So on that note, before we go any further, because some people may have absolutely no idea what we're talking about, why don't you even back up and just tell us how you got into working with the angels or realizing that you had this gift? Do you mind giving us the backstory so we sort of know how you got to where you are today?
Sure. And it's funny because it is something that's a little maybe taboo to talk about. I was always weird. You don't talk about this kind of stuff, to people, right? But my mom was a Sunday school teacher, and we grew up in church and everything. And about 15 years ago, she came down with cancer. And she was expected to live. It was in the tongue. They did surgery. No big deal. I mean, everything was golden, but she took a turn for the worse, and she ended up dying. And I was 27 years old and had not gotten married, did not have children, and thought, this is my best friend, and she's gone. And how am I going to talk to her? How do I connect with her? And I was really searching. I was looking within. I was looking out. I was trying to find something more, because I knew, I had my faith and everything, but I still miss my mom, and she's my best friend. And how could this happen? So, in my exploration to find some answers, to find that connection, I found my angels, and they're not. They don't care what religion we are. They help everybody, and it was through working with my angels and knowing that they are there and they wanted me to be happy and they wanted to help me through this time. And I wasn't a person who, as a child, could see things or hear things that I know of. I know I was very sensitive and probably a little too emotional, as my dad would say. But we didn't grow up really with woo woo stuff. So when mom died and I found my angels, that really helped me not only to engage back in life, but it gave me that hope. It gave me that warmth, that love, that encouragement that I was longing for from my mom. And the really cool thing was it opened my eyes. I didn't have to see things from a quote religious standpoint, right? I was able to have the exploration of everything without being in fear of doing something wrong or doing something that was against my beliefs. And it is my practice, it is my faith. I believe in God, and that is what you will hear me say. Sometimes I'll say spirit, God, creator, source, divine, um, the universe. But what I really, really liked about the angels was it didn't matter what religious background you had. Everybody believes in angels, and they are actually messengers of God, of source, creator, spirit. And so it was through this that I was just able to find that peace, that joy, that comfort, if you will, that I was so longing for.
Wow. I mean, I don't know if you want to go into it, but did one day you just start hearing voices or start hearing?
Okay. So this one, oh gosh. So um, my parents had a motorcycle dealership. So if you can imagine the most testosterone fueled, ego driven lifestyle. We all worked in the business, right? And it's all motorcycles and four wheelers and things like that. So the woo woo stuff wasn't really a part of it, especially after mom died, right? But I was working at the dealership and I was in finance, and the whole family worked there. It's great. Um, but I was at my house one night and I could hear a party going on outside. And my neighbors and I were close, and I was single. And I was like, I can't believe they had a party and didn't invite me. So I kind of sneaked down, and I know this sounds so ridiculous, but I crawled over to the window and looked outside, expecting to find the whole block, just, cars everywhere, right? And people in the yard talking and dancing and, music playing and everything, because I could totally hear it. And I went over there, I looked out, Margie, there wasn't anybody
Oh
out
my
there.
gosh.
And
Oh no.
so I was like, I'm totally losing my mind. I'm hearing this, and I was like, well, this is crazy. So I got back in bed and I'm reading my book and I could hear it again. And I was like, what is going on? Why am I hearing this party? And I could hear conversations, but what was interesting was when I tried to really focus and listen to it, it kind of went away. So I was like, huh. Now, in retrospect, looking back on it, oh, I totally know those were my angels and they were communicating with me. And it was only when my logical, analytical mind, my left brain, was focused on something else, like reading right before bed, that I could hear it. And it was like somebody had left the radio on. And over the weeks and months, I went to doctors, I got on medication. My dad said, well, this is simple, just turn off the radio. And I was like, Dad, it's not like that. And then I was hearing music, and but it was angelic music, for lack of a better term. I can't even describe it. I would try to listen to figure out which instruments it was that I could hear playing, and I couldn't figure it out. It was the most amazing sounds. So I knew I was going crazy, right? That's right. So doctor after doctor, drug after drug. I was on a cocktail of drugs. I was a total zombie. I was the highest of highs, the lowest of lows. And if you can think of this motorcycle dealership, right? I'm a person who's very, very sensitive. I pick up on other people's emotions. I didn't know it at the time, but I would have a customer walk in. He is all excited. He's getting, a motorcycle that goes 200 miles an hour. He's, king of the world. And his wife is walking in behind him. I will kill you if you buy that motorcycle. You can't have that. I will kill y'all if you sell it to him. I'll sue you. Okay. So I have all these emotions coming at me and I'm freaking out. And about that time was when I started learning and reading about this. Thank goodness the angels were there to guide me and guide me, to certain books, teaching me how to kind of block that so I wasn't taking on other people's emotions. I could still sense them and stuff, but that's what I learned about, kind of shielding myself and protecting myself. And then I said, well, gosh, if I can pick up on that, what about seeing my angels? And that was when it really got interesting because I wanted to see them. I wanted them to sit down on the bed and have a full-blown conversation with me, right? I mean, wouldn't we all? And one day I was kind of looking out and thought that something was wrong with my contacts. If you've ever seen a convection or the heat coming off the road, right, on a hot day, it's kind of that blurriness. I was seeing a lot of that and thought something was on my contacts. And eventually things started taking shape. I wouldn't say it was overnight, but because I had such a desire to be open to it and then I catch myself, forcing it. And then I started noticing that I was hearing things, not necessarily outside of my head, but internally, like myself talking to myself. And then I would really try to pay attention to those gut instincts, walking into a room and getting, like, ooh, I'm not really sure I like that person, and trying to pay attention to that. So it was something that kind of built over and over again. But still to this day, when I go to sleep at night, turn over to my husband and I say, can you hear the voices? And he says, no, I hear the crickets, I hear the locusts. And he's like, so who's talking tonight? And it's kind of become a joke. And I'll say, okay, angels, I can't do it right now, I got to go to sleep. But yeah, so it wasn't the
Wow.
full-bodied apparitions. It kind of grew.
Wow.
Fun.
Now it's such a gift and you're so talented. And you help so many people, me included. So it's so very interesting. So first of all, a question everyone I think is listening is wondering, does everybody have angels or just some of us or?
It is everybody. Everybody I've ever met or done a reading for. Okay, so I'm one of those people who says, I don't think it's proper or polite to just start reading people without their permission, right? I do have some integrity on this. But I remember being at a workshop, a class, and thinking, let me just see, can y'all show me everybody's angels really quickly? And there were probably 150 people in the workshop. And at that instant, I saw all these beings, and it filled the room, and I could no longer see the speaker. And it was so overstimulating that I immediately said, okay, thank you, that's enough. Because it was like, wow. And everybody, I have a client whose son is unfortunately in prison, and she'll ask me to tune into him and see who's around him. And do you know, he always has angels around him, and he is not a believer. He has zero faith, but he still has his angels, and they're still there, and they're still talking to him, nudging him, giving him hints, and trying to guide him. I mean, of course, we have free will, so it's up to us if we listen to those little voices or that gut instinct. But yeah, everybody has angels.
So it's
And you can get
interesting.
more.
It's very interesting because I know there's certain rules, which I never knew way back, but that, talk about the free will and that we have to ask if we want help. Can you just sort of clarify so we know how best we can utilize our angel, like, just maybe the different types and how we can ask for help versus what help they're allowed to give?
Sure. So, yes, from what they've shown me, everybody has angels. But here's kind of the catch of it. Your angels can only intervene in your life under two circumstances. One, it's a near-death experience and it's not your time to go. We've all heard stories of people who have maybe even died on the operating table and have seen the light and they were told, no, it's not your time and you have to go back, okay? Or maybe they were driving in their car and the car went to swerve off the road and some unseen force put it back in their lane, right? Okay, so those are your angels. They're intervening. It's not your time to go. You still have to stay here. The other time your angels can intervene is when you ask. And so it's very, very important that we learn to talk to our angels and communicate and ask. And it can be out loud, it can be uh, inside your head. You can write something down. You know, I had a client who said, do I have to go to church? Do I have to be a person of faith? No, you don't. You can think to yourself, angels, and they're there. You can think to yourself, angels, I'm having difficulty with my kids or this relationship. So you can even call on relationship angels or angels of children. So we always have our guardian angels, what I call our guardians. And from what I've seen, we have kind of a masculine and a feminine energy, if you will. They're supposed to be androgynous, right? But kind of a masculine and a feminine feel from each of these angels. One kind of stands on each side of you. Then we have our guides, what I call our guides, our spirit guides. And those are angels who have walked the earth, whereas your guardians have not, right? Guardians have never been human, but your guides have had human experiences. You could even know your guides. Maybe it's a friend or a relative who's passed on. Or maybe it's somebody like Einstein who has such a connection with science and you're really a science person. So you may have a guide of Albert Einstein who comes in and out during different periods of your life to help you with specific experiences or lessons that you're going through. A lot of people don't know their guides, and it's totally okay. You don't have to know them, but you can ask for, like, recently I've been asking the angels of homeschooling to come and help me to teach my daughter. I've got two little ones at home with this thing. We're all, staying at home. So the angels of homeschooling have been very beneficial. We also have the archangels, who are the managers, if you will. Archangel Michael is one of my favorites. He is kind of like God's right-hand man and our best friend, if you will, on our soul path. And he watches over your personal safety as well as your financial security. And what I've noticed is a lot of my clients who are Catholic or of the Catholic faith, they will call him Saint Michael. So some of them you're already familiar with just through osmosis and being here on the earthly plane. You've heard of them. Did
Wow.
that answer the question?
Yes. Oh, yes, yes.
Okay.
So what you're saying then is that they're really all around us and we can call on them anytime at all. And and that they can't really help us unless we ask for the help. Did I get all that correct?
Yes, and there's no job too big or no job too small. Remember, they want you to be happy. So even if it's trying to find a parking spot, we've all been to the grocery store and circled the aisles and up and down forever and ever, right? All that does is get us frustrated. So we call on the angels. Angels, can you help me find a parking spot? And the first time I ever did this, I remember thinking, this is so silly. They've got so much greater things to be doing, but I'm practicing, I'm getting familiar with this. So I asked him to help me find a parking spot. And out of the corner of my ear, I heard a remote car alarm beep. And I looked over and saw the lights flash. And this lady had just unlocked her car. She was walking out. And she had like these second space from the front. That never happens, right? She came in, backed up, and I went, oh, thank you, angels. Thank you. And I got a spot right up front. It was fantastic.
It's
So
funny
yes,
that you mentioned that because I have some relatives who've passed, so I always call on them for the spots. But that seems to work as well. And people are like amazed. They're like, what just happened here? How did you get a spot? But that's so interesting and I guess because I sometimes, though, I feel certain things are frivolous and they're not important, and I just don't want to bother them with something that's not a big deal. So you're saying you can't ask for too much?
Right. You, gosh, you ask for the parking spot, ask for help with conversations, ask them to speak through you when you have something big coming up. Ask them for a sign. Oh gosh, okay. So especially I have clients who are real estate agents and they're like, okay, what house? How do I know what these people are going to get? Are they going to get it? Which one are they going to choose? So asking for signs is a wonderful way, and like a tangible way, right? You can ask for a sign if this is the best choice for you, or if this is the best choice. And a lot of times, like especially when I was wanting to hear from my mom, I would say, Mom, just let me know you're around. And I would hear certain songs on the radio. And you know how those songs play and it totally reminds you of someone? That's them coming through and letting you know, I'm here. And the same thing with your angels. Oh my goodness, just ask them to let you know, hey, are you around? Can I ask this question? A business decision, finances. Oh gosh, help with procedures and medical advice. Gosh, that's one of the biggest ones is our health. Asking our angels, okay, is this the right doctor for me? Is this the right procedure for me? Or hey, what about those supplements I'm taking? Is this one beneficial? Is this one really going to help me? And ask them for signs. They'll help you with that.
So Courtney, should we ask them for a specific sign? Like sometimes I say, oh, I want to see a butterfly. Is it better to do that, or is it better to just make it obvious? Or what's your suggestion on that?
All of it, all of it, all of it, all of it. When I first said, okay, angels, I need to know that you're here and that I'm not just making this up, right? So touch my shoulder. Let me know you're here and touch my shoulder. And I went back to work and I swear I kept thinking my ponytail was hitting me and I was brushing my hair off 10, 15 times. And I said, okay, well, that's, I'm that, I can't, okay, touch my nose. Let's do that instead, right? I went back to work and I went in there to ask one of the other managers something. And he said, what is going on with you? I said, I don't know. My nose has been itching so much. I must have allergies. My nose was bright red from rubbing it, because they had been touching my nose and tickling it. And I'd totally forgotten about it and was like, oh yeah. Now there are other times that I say, okay, I need a yes or no, and I just need to know for sure. And I don't want to be my imagination or me making it up. So how about a code word? That's right. I will come up with a code word, and I'm very original. My code word was angel, still is angel. And if this is what I'm supposed to do, I want to turn on the radio and hear angel in a song, right? Because I can't make up whatever song's going to come on the radio. And I'll turn on the radio, and that is the fastest way, Margie. I mean, we're talking like within 2 or 3 songs. Sometimes it is the song, if not the next one. But 10, 15 minutes, you have your answer. And the good thing is, when you ask your angels for a sign, you'll get it within 24 hours. And if you don't, it just means you missed it. So ask again. What I have found as far as asking for specific signs, sometimes rainbows will mean something specific. Sometimes bubbles will mean something else. So over the years and the thousands of readings I've done and the millions of questions I've asked the angels, we've kind of come up with our own vocabulary, our own language as what things mean. Um, for example, wind chimes. When I hear wind chimes, I know that's one of my angels coming in because I'm searching for something. I also have Archangel Michael. He likes to sit like on my chest, and I feel a difference in the air pressure. And it's like, whew. And then I'll say, okay, Michael, I know it's you. So he'll hop off. Raphael is the angel of health and healing. And when he comes in, he always reminds us that breath is the essence of life and to really expand our lungs. So anytime Raphael comes in, I usually end up yawning. And I have to tell people, I'm not tired, I'm not bored. It's just another angel coming in, letting me know he's here to help. So, yeah,
Wow.
they're all around.
Does it matter what our headspace is if we're not relaxed or we're not open to this? Is there a certain way that we can be more attuned so we can allow them to come in and help us?
Sure. There are times if I am too angry, if I am too worried or fearful that I can't get out of my own way, I'm too much in my head, and I will have to take some deep breaths and just say, okay, I recognize that I'm angry, or I recognize that I'm scared to death and that I'm panicking. But angels, I need to know that you're here, and just bring me that comfort, bring me that peace. There have been times that I've actually walked outside and touched a tree, and I know that sounds so weird,
Oh, no, it
but
grounds you. Oh,
just
I'm into this. No, no, no.
okay, good. So I just needed that connection to get grounded, to get back in, rooted in that alignment, that purpose with, okay, I've got to get grounded. I've got to get out of my own way. I know that there is something bigger than I am, right? And and going, okay, there was a time when I would meditate or try to meditate for 30 minutes before I would do anything. And it was so counterproductive for me. I mean, just really jacked me up and sent me off, I was doing it wrong and it wasn't working. So what I have found is if I can just take a breath and relax, I can ask. The biggest thing that's been helpful for me is setting up kind of my, if you want to call it, my sacred space, um, my same bat time, my same bat channel. I say, okay, this is where I'm going to come every day, and I try to keep it very decluttered. Don't bring your tax papers and IRS stuff that you're working on. Get it out of that area, because it brings in negative vibes, negative energy, negative thoughts, right? So I try to keep my area clear, clean, my desk space, kind of wiped down and everything, so that I don't have any interferences or distractions. That's really the main thing. And that's where I say, okay, this is my time, this is my space, and I'm going to try to do it the same time every day, the same place every day. Um, I know people who say it's in my car. It's in my car on the way to work. That is my time, and that's when I say, okay, I've set the intention. I'm going to talk to him, and I'm going to receive my answers, which is great, because really your left brain is still kind of distracted with driving, and some random thoughts may come through, repetitive thoughts that repeat themselves over and over. And that's kind of one way to distinguish your angelic thoughts and communication as opposed to your own imagination, right?
Interesting. So I bet everyone listening right now wants to know, we're in this, I don't know if you can help us with this or not. This is a very, very scary time for everybody, and there's so much unknown. Have you gotten any communication from the angel with this coronavirus, that any guidance that could help us?
Yes. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Um, One of the first things that came through was, it was about taking a step back and seeing what our priorities were. And I guess this was early March, I got this message. And it was, those of you who need to get more balance in your life. Maybe we're working too hard. Maybe we're not focusing on improving ourselves and growing emotionally, mentally, intellectually, spiritually, that kind of growth. Or maybe we're too go 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 and we need some rest. So it was about taking a step back and looking at our priorities. More recently, just the other day, and I love 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 this, I asked for kind of a visualization of what could help me, so that I wasn't panicked, so that I wasn't just letting fear totally cripple me, right? And as I asked for this information, this beautiful giant hand came down from the sky, and it was um, open, relaxed. My husband calls this a supine position that came down, and as I saw myself in this field of grass, I walked over to this hand and very, very easily climbed into it and relaxed. And this hand was saying, talk to me, tell me your worries, tell me your fears. I've got you. And it was so relaxing and so warm and comforting. And I just sat there and kind of looked up at the sky, saw the clouds, but imagined myself kind of cradled in this hand and talked about, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that. And as I talked, the words went up and they went up to the sky, almost like bubbles or balloons or mist, but they just evaporated. And it was like, as I was saying, it was like realizing I've created these worries, I've created these fears because I am held, I am comforted. And even though our fears are very, very real, when we worry, what we're really doing is using our imagination to create what we don't want. And we say, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that. And we go to the worst case scenario, right? And I'm
Absolutely.
not saying be naive. I'm not saying, put your head in the sand and pretend it's not there. But instead of letting our imagination go to what we don't want and creating what we don't want, come back to that place of relaxation. And it was interesting because I wrote down a few things that I got while we were starting, and straight from spirit was to relax, to take a deep breath, to step out on your front step, to get out on your front porch, feel the sun on your face, feel the wind in your hair, take that deep breath, and as you exhale, let go of that worry. Let go of that fear. Let go of that imagining of what we don't want, and just inhaling that peace, that serenity, and exhaling that anxiety, knowing that we are comforted, we are protected, we are surrounded by the angels, and knowing that they are there. We know that the fear is there, and we can acknowledge it. That's okay. And we can say, I recognize you and I understand you're there, but for right now, for today, I'm not allowing you to consume me. And I'm just going to push you back. I'm just going to push you off this front step, off this front porch. And just for today, I'm not going to allow you in. And say it out loud. That aligns your conscious, subconscious, superconscious, really gets your heart, mind, body, soul in that alignment with that. So that intention is set that just for right now, we're going to push that fear away and know that we've got this. And our angels have us protected. And
And
then if you have to go back in, you can go back inside.
that's so beautiful. Did they give you any reassurance that, because I think what's so scary is the unknown. We've never, ever had anything like this. Did you get any reassurance from the angels that, yes, this will end and we're going to move on and life will be maybe a kinder place after? Did they give you any of the silver linings that all of us are hoping after from this? Anything like that? Did you get any wisdom?
Yes. And you know how you were talking about you call on friends and family on the other side when you're parking, right?
Right, right.
So I very distinctly heard my mom come through and say, "This too shall pass." And what was even more reassuring was my sister had made a post on social media with the same thing. I can hear mom saying, "This too shall pass." And it was like, oh gosh, I had the auditory sound, and then I had the visual confirmation of it. Yes, this too shall pass. And really what I love about this, and I try not to stay too much in the future, right? Because then I can get anxious and try to waste today away. So I try to stay really present as much as I can, right? As much as any of us can. We just try. But yes, as we go into the future, when we come through this, there is going to be it makes my heart just expand, and I can feel it just like bloom out and reach out. And there's such an appreciation, not just for our world, but our earth. And I'm not saying, oh, we're all going to recycle now. I mean, sure, but it's really about that environment and being out to be in it and to touch the grass and to touch our friends and our family and have that good vibration, that feeling of almost a unity of look what we've survived, look what we've overcome, and we did this together. And you know what, you're my friend, and we have this common mutual goal and experience. This fear that was once just crippling us, we survived, and you survived it with me. So there's this instant camaraderie and this feeling of we're all on the same team, we're all on the same side. And it's a beautiful, liberating, oh gosh, Margie, when they let me see just a glimpse of it, it is so liberating and so freeing. And it really puts things in perspective. And we're able to take a step back and go, you're like me, and you're like me. And you and I are connected by this. And really, we're all kind of connected. And we're all in this together. And it's just such a, a heartwarming experience and expansion and growth and elevation of our own minds and vibration, if you will. And we don't get bogged down by the pettiness and the prejudice or the gossip and the paranoia. We really have risen above, and that's what so much of this is about, is elevating our vibration, our thoughts, our mindset. Does that make sense? Does that sound too woo woo?
No, no, it's funny that you should say that, because that's the one thing that I've really, really noticed. That even this morning, I was at the grocery store, I was at Whole Foods, and I just feel this bond to everyone now. Like everyone is going through this, everyone in their own way. They're there making sure they're, working every single day in contact with people. My husband's a physician, my brother's on the front lines. Everyone has their own way that they're going through this, but they're all going through it together. But I feel a bond. Like I want to know how everyone's doing. And I feel this, not that I'm one who always talks to everybody, but in a different way right now, in a way that I just feel connected to every single person. It's crazy. It's really so interesting that you said that, though. So, but that's very nice to hear, because this is, but I love what also you said, which is what I've been telling people and been helping me get through, is you live in the present. That the fear, just exactly like you said, the fear is because you manifest. You create what you start dreaming up. And so what you focus your attention on grows. And so just by living in the present, what you can do, take care of yourself or use this time for all sorts of things. And when you live in the present, it really helps. So I love what you said, and I love the words, and I think all that's so helpful. Anything else that you want to share? That they didn't give you time frames or anything like that, right?
Oh, I wish I had the magic wand that would say, okay, let's just speed this all up really, really quickly. Um, because it does, it just feels like it takes forever. And and I would love to say, yes, I have an end date. There are they're showing that yes, there is a big wave, and that really by July, we're going to feel like people are starting to come out. They're giving the letter J.
Okay,
So
good.
June, July, that energy feels good that we can start kind of stepping out. Um, the one thing they have said is that those who have felt invincible to this and maybe weren't respectful, let's say, that humiliation will come down on them like a tidal wave and bring them to their knees. And as sad as it was, and as heartbreaking as that message was, it was very appropriate, and it was very real. And it was not letting me go, well, ha ha ha, those of you who decided you were still going to have a party and do all this and be flippant. I wouldn't let myself go there, because that's ego, really. And the message was back again to that humility. and that respect, the respect of ourselves, of others. And the one thing that I've been seeing through this, and that when they showed me the glimpse of afterward, is that appreciation. Whoa. Not only do we have that bond, but there is such an appreciation like we've never felt before. Teachers, holy cow, $1 million a year they should be making, right? Doctors, they are so selfless. And if anybody thinks that somebody went into the medical field for the money, holy cow, you can't pay them enough money to risk their lives on a daily basis for what they do. It is a true passion for humanity, and the amount of respect and appreciation that we're all going to have for those people, and the ones who are at the grocery stores, who are touching all of those shopping carts. The amount of appreciation we have for them putting themselves in harm's way is just huge. And the love, and I know that can kind of sound corny and
No,
hokey,
I'm in
but
tears, quite honestly, right now, because just knowing my brother's in New York City, and at 7 o'clock, all the windows open and everyone cheers. And the other night, he, he came home from his shift. He's working all day. Every doctor, he's a GI, but every single doctor now is covering, that the whole hospitals are COVID, or most of the hospitals are COVID. So everyone has the responsibility, but opening the window and hearing everybody cheer in New York City, it was just incredible. And just like you said, the appreciation and what you said about doctors and the nurses and everybody every single person, the person cleaning the floor there, and that, I mean, every person is in this together and working because they care about humanity. And that's really just so beautiful what you said, I have to say. I just, yeah,
it
not hokey at
it
all.
it me it makes me feel like I want to do more, right? Um, how can I help them? How can I support them in this? And that was one of my pleads, my begging to the angels is, I can't be on the front lines like that. I don't have the experience. And then it makes me feel really, really small as a human. And how can I show my support in this? And it was so strong. And you confirmed it. Bring the angels to the people. Bring them that comfort. Know that they have that support, invisible or tangible. Know that they have it and know that it's there. And so thank you for allowing me to do this and to bring that to everyone, so that they know their angels are there and that they are so loved and nobody's forgotten and everybody is so appreciated and connected, and 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 nobody's more than the other in this. Everybody is so gosh, just the gratitude and appreciation we have for everybody, and that the angels have for us, because remember, they see everything through the eyes of love. And this outpouring of love, and gosh, when you said the cheering at 7, I
Ah,
got chills all over my body. I just want to climb out of my chair and get on the ground and go, I'm not worthy. And thank y'all, because it's man, it consumes me. It overwhelms me with that joy, that love, that emotion, if you will.
that's so beautiful, because it's really funny that you say that, because I just had this sense. I had a billion things that I needed to do, and I have to contact Kourtney. It was so strange. No, no, no. It was really a very much in my head, like, Margie, before you do anything else, you have to contact Kourtney. And it was so strong that I'm like, okay. And I'm very much into going to bed early, really taking care. I'm like, no, I'm going to contact Kourtney today, because that's the most important thing I have to do right now. Isn't that strange? That's so funny. So I guess they really want you to get your messages out. And I think what's also nice is that they don't see this going on forever, and they showed you the glimpse of a better, kinder world, which I really do believe. As I said, my husband he's an OBGYN, so he's delivering patients, and there a lot of people who are positive at the hospital, and so we live with this every single day. And but the thought that, and in my mind, in my belief system, I really do believe that that there always is a silver lining when you go through something catastrophic and challenging times. There is light at the end of the tunnel and something good. So that makes me feel really good to know. To know that the end of the summer, that, I mean, I'm not holding you here, but the fact that
Right.
that's what they're sort of showing you, that it's not going on and on, is encouraging, and that we do somehow figure out a way to get beyond this, which is good, and that to use them to help us, because each of us, I think it's so important that we stay relaxed, because stress will just reduce our immune system besides everything else. So I think using the techniques that you've taught us and really trying to, and I do. I mean, you've helped me over the years so much, and it's amazing. It's amazing. And you are very, we haven't really talked about how talented you are, but I've had 3 readings with you, Kourtney, and they've been so accurate that it's unbelievable, actually. It really is. One was about someone was sick and I was concerned, and you totally put me in. You were completely on target. And there were some other things that you told me that were just, it really was amazing to me how, it just wasn't by chance that you were correct. So, so you really have this incredible gift. And I think, once people open up to the angels, and I want to open up even more, I'm gonna, it's so helpful. So is there anything else you want to share? I know we could talk forever, but I also want you to tell people if they want to follow you or get, how they can stay in touch with you.
Yeah, um, I have a social media page on Facebook. It's Kourtney with a K, Levens Official. And that is really just kind of daily inspiration. Sometimes we just need to pick me up. But I also have a group for what I call my soul family. It's a closed group, but I would love for y'all to join. It is a subscription, a monthly subscription. We're running a special right now for 2020. So for $20 a month, you'll get videos. We'll have live calls where I'll do readings for people. I do kind of a weekend review, tell you what's going on for the week. Plus, you'll have total access to me. Hey, I keep seeing these numbers on the clock. What does 1111 mean? Why do I keep seeing it's always 333? And we can talk about that and talk about which angels to call on for more help. And Margie, I'd like to offer your listeners maybe a way to connect with me, more of a one-on-one, connect with their angels, maybe even a friend or family member on the other side they can connect with. And I'd like to offer them that ability too, to have a one-on-one session with me.
Okay, great. So we'll put links in the show notes, and so they can have all that.
Yeah, we'll do a 15-minute special, and we'll also do a 30-minute special. And with these one-on-one private readings with me that I do over the phone or via Zoom, whichever you prefer, we're gonna let you have free access to that soul family closed group membership, up to 6 months, just so you can get a taste of it, just so you can feel that support, be around like-minded people. And if this is new to you, it's such a wonderful way to just kind of gently immerse yourself in it and see what's out there. No judgment, no criticism. So we'll get you 3 or 6 months to that soul group, as well as some meditations, some guided meditations if you want to try those.
Oh, that's great. That's so wonderful. I do your shower meditation every day.
Oh, good.
The
That's
shower,
awesome.
the shower clearing, which is, can we tell people about that? You want to just tell them? Yeah, because
Sure.
that's real. That's
You know,
that's helped me so much. And we all take showers. That's one thing we're all doing still.
yeah. Washing our hands. My 2-year-old thinks that it's somebody's birthday every day, all day. So she always asks who we're calling to tell them happy birthday, because we sing happy birthday when we're washing our hands. But we take showers and we clean ourselves, right? We clean our physical body, but we need to clean our spiritual body, our personal space, our energy, our aura, if you will. So I like to invite clients and encourage clients to, when you're in the shower, you've got the water coming down on you, and that's kind of your anchor, right? That's your tangible there. You can feel the water coming over your head, over your body. So just set the intention and say out loud or to yourself, okay, as I feel this water washing over my body, I'm going to ask that this water clean off and clear off, rinse off any thoughts, feelings, emotions that don't belong to me or that aren't good, that aren't serving me. You know, so many times that we'll think about and keep rehashing over and over and over again something that happened the day before or earlier that day. So just allow that water to wash over you and rinse that off. Anything that's not serving you. And you can actually watch that water go off your body, go down the drain, and have that serve as that physical reminder of everything is going down the drain. Once you feel like that's kind of done, stand back under that water and say, okay, now with the water coming over my head and coming over my body, just close your eyes and let that water wash over you and let it be your invisible shield for the day, your invisible armor, that protection around you, your bubble, your cocoon, if you will, that you can still feel all the energy and emotions of other people, but it's just not going to stick to you today. You know that somebody's having a hard day. You can sense that energy and you can have compassion for them, but it's just not going to stay with you. Okay? You have somebody be ugly to you, you'll feel it, but it's just going to bounce off, right? Because you've got that invisible protection, that shield, and it takes 10 seconds in the shower to do it, and you're protected all day long.
I love it. I do, as I said, I do that every day. And if I'm not in the shower, and I usually am, then I'll just do it imaginary shower and just let the water run over me. But what I love, and I want to know, can we take this to the coronavirus too? Can we then, because I just protect myself from everything with that bubble. And I make it different colors, different days, whatever I'm in the mood for. but
Yes,
but so we can also think of just protecting us from anything that's not serving our highest good, anything.
right. And and you know, Margie, again, we're not being flippant, nonchalant, or acting like, oh, this, this won't happen, because everyone has free will, right? And we can't intervene on someone's free will, and your angels can't intervene on your own free will. They'll open the doors for you, but that free will says you decide if you're going to go with your gut instinct or hear that little voice or not, right? That's also with the law of the universe that some people have a destiny. Some people are going to be destined to have something happen to them, and others aren't. But we don't have to reinvent the wheel, and we don't have to hit every bump on that road of life. So, yes, asking the angels to shield us, asking the angels to clear our path, asking the angels to make it where we can learn the lesson without having to endure the suffering, even. That's always a wonderful way to do it. And again, it's not that we're being naive or that we think we can pray something away, okay? This is just asking for that extra bit of help as we go through our life or our soul path and our destiny, getting those little bumps in the road cleared out for us. And that's what that extra shielding does. That's what that extra angelic guidance and angel help does for us.
Wow, because that's so true. You're not going to go to a crowded park and say, "Oh, no problem, I have the angels protecting me." Of course not, right? We all have to be smart, and just that extra, and it makes you feel so good as well to know that. Because I think a lot of people listening didn't even know they could. We pray, but we could be more specific in terms of
Yes.
who we're praying and what we're asking for. And I think that's just something, it's not common knowledge. Oh yes. No, because I remember
They don't teach it in school.
no, I've told some people, I'm like, I have no idea how I know this, but I've been told from people who are able to communicate that, it's not that they just help you, you have to actually ask for the help. And so, oh my gosh, I could talk to you for hours. I love you, Kourtney. You have so much great information, and this has been so wonderful. And I know, just like they told you, the angels, that this is what you're here to do, because people need this comfort. We need to get through this. This is nothing like any of us have ever experienced in our lifetime. And we need one another, and we need people who are connected and can give us advice from above to know that we can move on and know that there is light at the end of this tunnel, which you described so beautifully. And I'm even, as I said, I
Yeah.
think everyone is feeling it now, because people are saying, when you ask people what's good right now, they are seeing there is some positives amidst all this, all the horrible things that are happening. But so
Yeah.
thank you so much. Is there any last minute thing you want to say before we end?
Oh, I want, it has been a privilege and an honor to be able to come on here, and thank you so much for inviting me. And thank you for all of the people who are putting themselves in harm's way, especially in the medical field. Gosh, the nurses, one of my daughters is wanting to be a nurse, and it's just amazing. There's no way I could do it. I could not do it. I am not that brave. So thank you all for doing everything, because everybody's doing something. Everybody has a part in this, in getting us all through this, even if it's just calling our neighbor and saying, hey, just want to know if you need anything. We're all in this together, and I love that. And I love knowing that we can be there for each other, and that your angels want you to know, hey, if you need that extra bit of help, we got you. We got you on this, and we're here for you. And if y'all want some messages from your angels, I'm here for you. I have cleared my schedule, and I'm making myself available to you with those private sessions. There's nothing you can't ask, okay? And nothing that's off limits. So please let me help you. Let me support you. I am here for you. Your angels are here for you. And together we'll all get through this.
Great. Well, thank you so much. It's always such a treat. And yeah, I have to join. I don't know about your monthly meetings. That sounds fantastic. I'll have to come to these. That sounds amazing, because I love being in this energy. I just love it. It elevates me, and it's really great. So thank you so much. And everybody, stay well, and just stay calm, and know that they'll be good at the end of this, and we're getting through it. I think that's really helpful. As you said, your mom said, this too shall pass. Was that her words?
Yes,
Yeah.
this too shall pass.
Okay, this too shall pass. So bye, everybody. Thank you so much, Kourtney.
Thank you.
I hope you've enjoyed today's interview with Kourtney as much as I have, and now have some tools and ways that you can communicate with your spirit guides. So try it out. I know for me, it's really been life-changing and made such a big difference. So I'd love to hear how this goes with you, and all the links to contact Kourtney are in the show notes. So thanks so much, and everybody stay well, and look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Happy Bones, Happy Life podcast. If you enjoyed this show, please subscribe on your favorite listening app so that you don't miss any amazing insights on upcoming episodes. And until next time, continue to live your best life ever. See you soon.